flash sale technique, but also the microfunnels. And the next part of the list was, of course, the PayPal. Now, the next, as I said, is set up a business PayPal account. We're, of course, not going to go through the steps of literally setting up the business account by putting in your first name and your last name, your email, and all that stuff, your business name. And again, as I mentioned in the previous videos, you don't necessarily need a business PayPal account at this point. If you want to go with a personal one, you're more than fine at this stage of the game. The reason why I mentioned a business account is because down the road it will actually help you to have a business account versus a personal one. So you might as well open a business account with PayPal. But again, we're not going to go through the actual steps of filling in the first name and the last name and your address and all that stuff. What I want to talk about is really why we're setting a business PayPal account. And before I dive into it, before we head over to the internet, I just want to make one point. Sometimes, because everybody's technical knowledge and skills and abilities to kind of comprehend this stuff is different. For some people, this is, no big deal, easy breezy. Yet for others, this is very, very overwhelming. And if you, for some reason, are feeling overwhelmed, there's several things that I want to kind of let you know now, even though we're, in the middle of this video. One, we're going to have coaching calls where you can dive and ask questions, direct questions to us, where we're going to be on a live call. We're going to go over every step of this thing in a live coaching call so that you guys can ask us questions directly and get a feel for it and just see how it is yet again. That's number one. Number two, you can always email us for support. And number three, you can always watch these videos again. That's the beauty of having recordings. You can go back and watch it again and see what it is that you missed the first time that you may pick up the second time. And, again, go at your own pace. Go slow. So this is not meant to overwhelm you in any shape, way, or form. And on top of that, this is really simple stuff in terms of, the steps here are very straightforward. We're not getting to the hardcore stuff here in this, in these particular modules. This is very, very simple stuff that you can literally run with in a matter of hours. And if you need more time, then take more time, just as long as you understand it. So I just wanted to let you know that we are here to help. You can always reach out. We will have additional coaching calls for you to jump on and ask questions and stuff like that. And we're always here to serve you and to help you if you have any questions or pertaining to any video, any process of this structure. So with that, let's actually jump on the internet and see what we can do with this PayPal account, because one thing that I want to mention to you is the reason why we're going to be using PayPal in several ways. The main reason is, of course, if you remember, the way that we set up the payment system, the accepting of the payments in our WordPress team is using PayPal. The other thing that I wanted to mention is what happens when we have a product that comes with, let's say, multiple colors or multiple sizes or whatever the case may be, right? How do you really work with that given the theme that we just worked with? So let me walk through this process with you very, very simply and very, very easily. And that will also lend us to the next video, which will automate, or at least semi-automate, the process of collecting data as these sales occur, as you gain more customers and so on and so forth. And that's why I wanted really to bring in PayPal at this particular juncture. So let me jump over to the theme real quick to kind of backtrack a little bit and show you what I mean by having these options that are not available in this theme by default. And one more thing that I wanted to mention before I actually jump to the theme. The way that my PayPal screen, or the way what you're seeing right now, is the way that the PayPal old design looks like. They are currently using a completely different design. I've never switched to the new one because I've been using PayPal probably for over a decade now, and I'm just so used to this one that I just never made the switch. You are probably going to see PayPal when you open it in a very different way, meaning the functions are all there, but they're just maybe listed in a different place. But again, they're all there, and I just want to show you the actual functionality. I'm sure you can easily find it in the new layout. I just don't use it. So that's why I just wanted to mention that, because if you open a PayPal account and you see a completely different screen, do not get freaked out. Don't be afraid. It's exactly the same. It's just place the links or the buttons or the features are placed maybe in a different place. So that's all it is. So basically, if we head over to the theme, and if we head over to any of our pages, you can see, let's go to the page that we created. You could see that we have the Buy It Now button, but what if we had different sizes? What if this was a t-shirt that comes in a small, medium, large, whatever, right? Maybe you have sunglasses that come in black, yellow, green. How do you do this? How do you set this up where basically the theme itself doesn't give you the option of setting up sizes? Well, this, and as you can see, there's nowhere to put your sizes on. So this is where PayPal comes along. What you want to do is actually jump into something called PayPal buttons. And I have a ton of buttons here because this is an account that we used back when we started. So as you can see, there's just a ton of buttons. So for the sake of privacy, I just basically blurred them out. But what you got to do is essentially create a new button. When you create a new button, and I just did that by clicking this link, you basically say what kind of button will it be. Buy it now, donation, shopping cart. You can just go with the buy it now. It's no big deal. You put the name. Now the item name is really your own description of what this button is. So that list that we just saw that I blurred out is a list of item names, right? It's basically your own description of what this button is, in case you have a ton of buttons that you create. That way you can really easily look in the list and go back to the button that you've created or want to change, right? So let's say this is going to be a test button for a t-shirt size. T-shirt sizes. We don't need to put an item ID. Again, even here they say optional. We don't necessarily care for this in any shape, way, or form. So the next thing is price. Let's say it's $24.99. The next thing is, do you want to drop down menu with price options, right? So basically it's going to say size small, $24.99. So if you are trying to create different prices for different sizes, then of course use this one. I'm going to use this one simply because all the sizes are going to be the same price. So no point really pointing out the fact that every size is $24.99. So I'm going to say sizes as the name of the drop down, and the next thing I'm going to say is, for example, extra small, medium, and then add another, large, and say extra large, for example. Extra large. Okay. So now we've done the size options. Now it says customize text or appearance, and you can use a PayPal button. You can use a smaller button. You can use a button with credit cards, or you can use your own button, for example. And in that case, you need the URL of your own button. Now. I kind of, to be honest, like this button. It looks nice. I'd like to keep it if possible. And the best thing to do is simply, if you use Jing, for example, and if you don't, you should get it. It's a very awesome free software at Jing.com. That's JING.com. It allows you to screen capture pretty much anything you want. It's pretty awesome, as I just mentioned. I just really will use Jing to cut this out just like this. Right? Save this button. Buy button. Save it on the hard disk. Let's put it on desktop. And I'm going to go back to my WordPress, go to the media, add a new image, add new, select file, go to desktop. Where's that buy button? There you go. Choose, and the reason why I'm doing this is because it's the easiest way to generate a URL right here of that buy button, which is exactly what we need. Because remember, PayPal is asking us for URL. Give me the URL where this button is. So paste it in here, and off you go. The next thing is use settings saved in your PayPal profile in terms of weight or stuff like that. If you're using these functions, then go ahead. If you're using tax rates, set it up. Use my own merchant account ID or use my primary email address. Really doesn't matter. You can choose either one. So the next thing is step two, and we want to make sure that the track inventory checkbox is checked. And this is important because it's important for a lot of things. The main reason why it's important is not so much because you're going to be tracking inventory, although I highly recommend having some kind of a system for yourself. For example, if your eBay seller says that they have 100 items, you may want to start by selling, say, 50, which means you would put, let's say, 50 in stock and alert me when there's only, let's say, 5 left, right? But we're not going to be using this specific option here by item. We're going to be using it by option. Because remember, we have many different sizes. Now, if we have a product that doesn't have many different sizes, we don't need to create a PayPal button for it. We could just go ahead and use the regular theme, where basically we use the buy button as default, as in the video, one of the earliest videos in this module that I showed you. You just set up everything inside the theme, and off you go. However, if you have sizes, you're going to come here, you're going to do all these things, and you're going to choose this right here by option. Now, another thing that is very important to you, and this I've learned by making this mistake, is whenever you have multiple sizes, the item ID should be, let's say, t-shirt or whatever the name of the product is. Now just let's go like this. And then you want to put extra small, for example. Oops. And then same thing here. And we're going to take the X out. And you do this for every single size. Now why? We're going to find out a little later in the following video, where we basically get to automate the process of reporting and basically setting up where we don't have to run these reports and type in all these sales and customers information and what they've purchased and all that stuff. It's going to automatically do that. However, because you are selling sizes, this item ID has to carry some kind of information for your reporting to automatically take it out of PayPal and put it on, let's say, an Excel sheet, right? If you don't put anything under item ID except, say, a t-shirt, when you see that report, you're not going to know which size you sold for that t-shirt. So quantity in stock, just like I covered before. If somebody has 50, you may want to put 25. If somebody has 100, you may want to put 50. Now this is just a rule of thumb. This is just for you to be safe rather than sorry. If a hot item sells out on eBay, you don't want to go, be in a position where you now have to look for that item somewhere else. So let's say 10 for each one. You can either use this field or not. It's up to you. And same thing with alert quantity. You can either use it or not. And the cost is not open to us because we never clicked the track profit and losses. If you want to, you're more than welcome to click this, and then you'll be able to put the cost. And that field is going to be imported in your Excel spreadsheet as well. So let me actually, let's say this cost us $16. Alright, so the next thing is, can customers buy an item when it's sold out? I always chose no because I don't want to deal with this at this stage of the game. Remember, we're very early. We want to make sure to test these products out. We want to make sure that they sell, they generate profit. There's no need to create these situations where once the product is sold out, the customer is still able to purchase them, and then you are potentially put in a position where you have to go look for those items elsewhere because they're original seller again has sold out of it. So I say no. It says take customers to a specific page when they click continue shopping button on the item sold out to page. Usually, again, it's going to be your website, right? www, for example. This is a t-shirt, so t-shirt, I should spell, page.com. So it's not going to be your website per se. It's going to be your website slash the page of that product, or to be much more clear, it's going to be this page. So you grab the URL of this page and you put it in here. So that way, if it's sold out, they keep going to the same page. Or if you want to put a different page, that's fine as well. It's really up to you. The next step is step 3, and here it's pretty simple. Do you want to let customers change their order quantities? Yes, that way they can make it 1 or 2 or 5 if they want to. When they get to the PayPal checkout side of your shopping cart. Can your customers add special instructions? Sure, why not? You need your customer's shipping address. Absolutely. Take customers to this URL when they cancel their checkout, and if you want, you can put specific web pages here. This is very helpful for you to, for example, offer them a special 5% discount if they decide to cancel their checkout and they leave. It's going to take them to, if you create a special page, it's going to take them to, let's say, a 5 or 10 or 15% discount. Essentially allowing you to save the sale if they take you up on it. So it will help with the abandonments. But let's go back here. Again, if you don't have it or you don't want to bother with it just yet, you certainly don't have to. Take customers to this URL when they finish checkout. This is more of a thank you page. Again, you can just put your store or that same page, or literally create a thank you page, which is going to be a much better experience for them. This is really up to you. To be absolutely honest, we did not use any of these. We didn't even check them. We left it as is when we started, and it worked perfectly fine. But again, I'm just letting you know that you have these options if you want to create a better experience. At this point, you simply create a button by clicking this button, and you have this code. You literally copy this code. You jump and back into WordPress, into the page that you were working with, which happens to be this lot of 30 hooks. And instead of the buy it button, which we have buy it now here, you paste this code that you just got from PayPal into this custom buy button box. So you literally paste it here, and you save. And what's going to happen now, if we come here, and refresh this page, you will see now this button has basically a small drop down above it. Right, so we lost the price that says $24.95, if you remember that, and you have this code now that allows you to, or excuse me, a Dropbox that allows you to essentially have all these sizes before they choose a product. At the end of the day, this is basically how you set up the sizes. This is exactly how we set up those sizes by creating the button with PayPal and placing this code inside this box right here, which will give you the option of giving sizes to your products. Okay, so that's essentially it. That's what I really wanted you to see as it relates to PayPal. Now remember, there's two things that we really need the PayPal for. This is one of them, to create buttons if you need to, and the other one is when we set up the shopping cart settings, we want to make sure that your PayPal email ID, which is the PayPal account that we either set up or already have, it goes in here. So these people, if your customers are not necessarily buying a product that has any sizes or any other variants or choices, you don't need this code. You just simply delete it. You keep the buy it now button, and they simply buy that one item, like we have the set of fishing hooks that doesn't have any sizes or colors, and they just click buy it now, and they go off to PayPal. All right, so that's pretty much it. This is going to take us directly into the next stage, which is the itdoesit.com, something that you should have set up during the first module. At least those were the action steps that we asked you to take. And now we're going to jump into itdoesit.com and essentially understand why we need it in the first place, what it does, and how it helps us build a business. All right, so I'll see you in the next video.